Hello, Tompkins County Public Library patrons. I am back with a bunch of newly processed books that are ready to go out. These are books that aren't new, they've just been published, but they have been repurchased because maybe our copies were missing, maybe our copies got beat up, maybe who knows what happened. And I wanted to talk about a couple. So we have a bunch of George R.R. Martin, a bunch of Sword of Ice and Fire books. We also have the DVDs, so come on in and check them out. If you don't know what this fantasy grimdark series is all about, what the hubbub is about, come on in. We've got you covered. Seeing this book go from a weird little fantasy book that me and my friends read to something that was on that the advertisements for it were on the sides of buses in Manhattan, and you know, I rarely ever took a trip in the subway and didn't see someone reading it on my way to or from the Bronx when I worked there. So it was just a sensation for a while. It was all anybody could talk about. I had a patron who would come in Monday morning so we could talk about how the series was different from the books. That's the only that was the reason why he came in. He'd get his coffee, come talk to us about last night's Game of Thrones and how it was different because we'd all read it. Is this too much? Does this feel like this is missing the second book, mind you? These are doorstop books. They're big. They bring you in because every chapter is from a different character's point of view. And when these books are going well, at the end of every chapter, the character has a really interesting decision to make. And then you jump to the next character and similar thing. And then you jump to another one and then you jump back. And so it's it's a book that will keep you up reading all night. But maybe that's too much. And if that's too much, then A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is the way to jump into Westeros and get it bite-sized. This is a series of novellas about a single knight and his squire. It was just made into a HBO TV show. I'm sure we'll be getting the DVD before too long. And if you just want to jump into Westeros, but you don't want to make a big commitment, this is the way to go. And as a matter of fact, I have said that this is actually the best fiction set in Westeros that has ever been written. I love these books. I love this series of stories. It's nice following a character. It's such a relief to follow a character who is not a terrible person. And Sir Duncan the Tall, good old Dunk and Egg, they're just really lovely to read about. So if this feels like too much, I hear you, and we got you covered. And this is not the only copy we have in the library. We definitely have more than one. You're feeling more nightly? You feel like you gotta you're not getting your nightly fix just from Dunk and Egg? Look at this the shiny copy of The Once and Future King. Woo! It's beautiful. I want to take. You might have to fight me to take this out. Just a classic and a just beautiful edition, and it's here for you. And I would love to write a paper on the Once and Future King's relationship to chivalry and George R.R. Martin's relationship to chivalry and how those books are kind of talking to one another, because I think they are. But I'm not writing papers anymore, so leave that for younger folks. And then we've got another brand new copy of The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This was the first book I heard being referred to as cozy. Have you heard that lately? Cozy fantasy, cozy science fiction. And yeah, it's a real sign of our times that we've got this whole genre that we call cozy, which is interesting. It's interesting to go over this grim, dark epic, right? George R.R. Martin, and then talk about my first memory of a book being called Cozy. Winner, long way to a small angry planet. Winner of the Hugo Award for Best Series. Why do we need Cozy right now? You know, anything going on in the news? Anything you think? I don't know. But whatever it is, we have you covered. Come on into the library and check it out. We'll see you soon.